Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome back to PoducateMe, the ESL podcast. And today we have a special guest interview. Everyone, give a very warm welcome to Julia. Hi, Julia.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't know if anyone at this point is able to see the resemblance, but Julia, Julia is my sister. She's my younger sister. Um, Honestly, I don't think we get a lot of people saying that we look alike, right?
Yeah, most people would say that myself and our brother look more similar, but
Yeah,
not so much myself and Hannah. I don't know,
yeah.
sometimes when we smile, I feel like you can kind of see it.
I do know that our dad gets our voices mixed up.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that might be bad
they
for the podcast then.
That's very true.
Her too.
But there was a time when way back when we had answering machines.
Uh-huh.
I think it was Julia that had recorded the message for the answering machine, but for the longest time our dad thought it was me. And
Oh,
he kept insisting it was me. I was like, I wasn't even in the country, so that couldn't have been me.
interesting.
But I do distinctly remember that. And sometimes when listen to like videos or whatever, I hear it. Like I can hear, I'm like, who's that talking? Is that Julia or is that me?
Hmm.
So
Really?
yeah, hopefully people don't get confused.
That's so funny.
But
I'll end
yeah,
everything I say with a, this is Julie, by the way, at the
and
end.
I'll end
Brought
uh,
to you by Julia, brought to you by him.
yeah, all right.
Or I'll be just whispering, that was Julia.
All right. Well, hopefully it I don't know. I think it's pretty distinctive sometimes. So
Hmm.
we shall
Yeah.
see. Shall see.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are not here to talk about me and Julia's childhood. We are we are actually here because Julia is a something that's sometimes still hits me every now and then. Julia is a full-fledged grown adult
Okay.
with a job and
Good for
everything.
you to finally know this and everything.
But Julia is in a very different field of work than Helen and
Hmm.
I. And it's so interesting to us because, of course, we're kind of, getting our podcast off the ground. And so we're also dabbling in certain areas that are very new to us. And actually, the first time were thinking about starting up the podcast, we went to Julia. Like I went to Julia to
Hmm.
just to ask for some advice. And the reason for that is because Julia does work in social media, or she worked in social media marketing, advertising online, like very new stuff that I'm really not familiar with. So I went to her. Advice was
Yeah.
kind of the first thing that we did.
And we thought that it would be a very, very good episode to record with someone who specializes in this, because this is something that's been on our phones and all around us like day and night. Yeah. And I really wanted to start off with this question, Julie. And I wanted to ask you, how did you get into social media marketing and advertising? And more importantly, what does one actually do in a marketing? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What's interesting is when you mentioned that, I'm in such a different field from you guys, I feel like Hannah and I both grew up with a lot of books and we both were really interested in English. So I actually studied English in university. Um,
Nice. I
but
didn't
then
know that.
yeah, but then I kind of took it a different direction after university, and instead of going into teaching, um, I was like, okay, is there a way that I can use this English degree for more money, perhaps? Young, that's what young me was thinking after
Smart.
university.
That's
Mhm.
something that I didn't even think
Yeah,
of. So
that was a
that's
stone in our garden. Okay.
the advantage of being the younger child.
After Hannah had warned me.
Not fall into older sibling steps. Uh-huh.
Exactly. So I was looking into different kinds of, like long-term jobs that could be in an office that also involved some kind of English or some kind of writing. I was looking into technical writing at one point, and I eventually got an internship as a copywriter. So
Ooh.
in the marketing world, copy is what you call any kind of text that is used in marketing. So that could be a social media caption, that can be a script for an ad, that can be, on a website, like the text that's on a website, you call all that stuff copy. So
Okay.
copywriter,
So
yeah,
I'm sorry, it's not necessarily has to be copied from somewhere. So any kind of
correct.
text.
Yeah, it's a
See,
weird word.
we're already learning.
Two
And it
minutes
sounds,
in.
yeah, and it's very confusing for some people because it sounds exactly like the word copyright, as in like
Mm-hmm.
this book is copyrighted, like
Mm-hmm.
material, like, it's their property.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's just copy as in, yeah, marketing text. So yeah, so back in the day before ChatGPT, that was a very profitable industry.
Probably
Um,
non-existent at this
And you can actually
yes.
employ your knowledge of English, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
There in your
exactly.
degree. Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you have to write long form things. You have to write like whole blog posts. You have to write
Yeah.
white papers on like a random topic that you've never heard about before this day, and you have to like pretend you're an expert in it. And you have to just pump that out like very quickly
Yeah.
in the marketing world because a lot of it is about, the volume that you're putting out there. So yeah, so that was my first job in marketing, was as a copywriter. And
Mm-hmm.
then over time, I got more involved on the strategy side. So I worked at an agency where different clients would come to us. So usually different companies, whether they were smaller or bigger, they would come to us because they don't know what to do with their ads. They don't know what digital marketing looks like. So they would come to us and we would help them with like a strategy. We'd say, okay, spend your money here. Give us your money and we'll spend it here for you. Because, the
Give us
platforms
your
themselves,
money and
Interesting.
yeah,
give us your money and
absolutely.
we'll figure it out.
And
Because if
you'll
I
never
told you
hear from
guys to
us
do
again.
Facebook ads, it would be very confusing for you guys how to figure out how to set that up. It would be
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
it would be a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we would do reports for them and stuff, sometimes revamp their websites, um, develop an email marketing strategy and then create emails for them, lots of different things. Sometimes it's like creating the actual ads, and then sometimes it was mostly like strategy and helping them set up their ads and then like keep track of them and refine them and optimize them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a lot of it would depend on so many different things, the strategy, right? Like the product,
The
the
platforms.
target
Hmm.
audience, who they want to sell to, how much the product is, right? Like you take the research, I guess you guys also do the background research, you take all that stuff into account and then create a strategy based on that.
Yeah, I'd say there's usually different teams on their side that would figure out pricing and packaging and things like that. We have had like a couple one-off requests for logos and packaging, but usually
Mm-hmm.
we're more focused on the digital marketing side, or at
Mm-hmm.
least that's where my personal expertise is. So it's more on the once they've got the product, and sometimes they've got brick and mortar stores or they've got other ways of selling their product or service, will help with just the digital marketing ad sides of things.
Oh,
Yeah,
Incredible.
that's so
yeah,
interesting.
it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Very
Okay.
cool industry.
So I know that it really does depend on a lot of different things, but just in your experience, what makes a good like social media ad? Like what makes a good ad and
Mm.
what like catches people's attention the fastest? Like, it's a scroll, like, the doom scrolling and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
People just scroll, 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 and the ads come up very quickly and people are very quick to scroll past those. So like what are some things, I don't know, I guess like tips. Like what are things that catches people's attention or what makes it a good social media ad?
Yeah, it can be a lot of different things. For lower budget ones, it's like a lot of smaller clients and things like that. I think one easy one to execute is things that look very authentic, things that don't look too overly produced because
I'm gonna
um
take notes.
exactly, because we're in an age where like people are very like wary of advertising and brands. So a lot of times people will skip past it if it doesn't look authentic. So, authentic content is like a very popular and very cheap way of catching attention. Um, I think also things that are simple because a big pitfall that a lot of people fall into is they have so many ideas and they're so excited about the product and they want to just over explain everything and they just have a
Mm-hmm.
really like so much text, so many different ideas going on in one ad instead of just choosing one small thing to focus on and just making it as simple as possible because like you said, when you're in the doom scrolling mindset, something has to hit right away in those first 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And if it takes more than 2 seconds to understand, then you're not going to stick around to see the whole thing. So I'd
Mm-hmm.
say simple is also very important.
Nice.
Okay. I don't know. For me,
Less is more.
less is
Mhm.
more, I agree. And I do get caught because I'm a TikTok doom scroller. Like this is how I relax. And I have noticed that there are a lot of ads that look like just regular TikTok posts.
Hmm.
And then
Ah.
suddenly at the bottom, like
You're like,
sponsored or
boom.
promotional material or whatever that thing is, it pops up at the bottom. And I
Hmm.
get so angry.
And suddenly you're targeted,
I
right?
actually legitimately get angry. I'm like, oh, you tricked
You
me.
got me.
You got me. And then I scroll. But this is always what goes on in my head. I'll pause because automatically any ad, I'm very quick to scroll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very guilty of that. But when I pause for even a second at something that doesn't look like an ad, and then I realize it's an ad, I like
You've been flagged.
I
Mm-hmm.
kind of hit myself because I'm just like, oh, you caught me. And then I keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
It's very much a very popular strategy.
it's tricky.
Interesting.
It's tricky,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I also something that you said about like those brands that have so many ideas and they want to do this, and that. But the question to you as a creator or social media marketer, so how do you balance your personal creativity and your personal preferences and the things that you like and you would want to implement in an ad? How do you balance it with clients' expectations? And there is definitely some like brand rules that you have to follow. So if
Hmm.
there's like any conflict that you're like, ah, I really want to do this, and I know that it's gonna work, but it's against the policies or rules or whatever thing.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It's so funny that you asked that because that's almost exactly like a job interview question I've gotten before too in marketing.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
because it's a
Okay.
This is
common
now a
thing.
job interview.
Because now I'm more on the client management side of things, and so it is important to know how to balance like managing a client, keeping them happy, keeping them, with us, as well
Hmm.
as, another thing that helps keep them with us is strong performance. So if there's something I believe in that will do well, um, so there's been a few different ways that I have gone about this because this happens unfortunately very frequently.
Yeah.
Um, I'd say the first way is um the most effective is have data and bring data to the table and just prove to them like irrefutably, objectively, why my way is correct. Whether that's bringing examples of other successful ads that are similar to what I'm proposing, or if I'm just straight up showing data like, look, like I did all this research on your audience, they don't care about this, and I've seen research that shows that they care about this instead, so let's do this. If that doesn't work, then the second thing I do is to propose um, A/B testing, which is a common term in marketing.
Oh.
I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this, but it's
No.
basically
Mm-mm.
like, yeah, so it's exactly what it sounds like. You've got a version A, a version B. It can be more than that, but people just like the term A/B testing. And then you give them the same audience, the same targeting maybe. But then you change the creatives, or maybe you change just the text on it.
I see.
Yeah, maybe you're
And then see
changing
what does
just,
Additional
better.
details.
yeah,
Hmm.
maybe you're just changing the model. Maybe it's the same creative, but you're just testing different audiences as well. That can also be A/B testing. So in that case, sometimes I would propose, you know, we'll do your idea and we'll do my idea, and let's see which one's does better.
Hmm.
And like, if my idea does better, then like they're not going to complain about that. Sometimes we've even made that second version for free if they really are reluctant to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because if I feel that strongly about it anyway,
yeah.
um, because then they don't have to waste their money paying us to create that, if they
Hmm.
don't feel strongly about it.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool. So you can put in some creativity for sure in in those campaigns, right?
Yeah, obviously
Like
it
your
does
own
depend on
stuff.
the industry. Like
True.
Hmm.
health industry, financial industry, very, very strict.
Yeah.
You can't do or say a lot of things, and especially in the
Hmm.
health industry and in Canada and the US, you can't say anything. You can only
Yeah.
say like, for example, the name of the product, I think in Canada, and I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to imply who it's for or what it does. So for
Oh.
example, for all those Ozempic ads that you see all the time, they always say Ozempic, ask your doctor about Ozempic, but they can't say anything else.
Right.
And they
Oh my
can't show
God.
they can't show too many overweight people in their ads because that implies what it does.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
I was like when Ozempic just was around, just starting like popping up everywhere. I saw the ad on Netflix, I believe, and it was nothing, just like the name of the thing, ask your
Yeah.
doctor about it. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like,
Really?
why are they not talking?
But
Yeah.
Very
in a
interesting.
way, like having those restrictions and having those outlines is good for a health
Oh,
product, I would
definitely.
say.
I,
Oh,
I
Like,
I
yes.
mean, I just didn't know like the background for it.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw that it's like, what is this? Like, what is this? Is this for something like very, very personal that,
Mm.
they're not saying what this is
Yeah.
for, who this is for?
Yeah, that's a
Okay,
Canada
now
restriction.
I
We're a
know.
lot stricter than the
Wow.
US,
Which is,
which is
again,
probably
Mm,
for
I
the
think that's
best.
yeah.
probably for the best, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about like what's a campaign that you've done in the past that you're just kind of especially proud of that you want to show off a little?
Ooh, I would say that the one that I was probably the most proud of was for a mental health association in New Jersey. Um, they basically came to us and they asked us to help with basically promoting awareness around their helpline and around like for people to reach out to them,
Hmm.
particularly teens that are at risk for like depression and for
Yeah.
suicide. So they asked us to create some ads that would promote the idea of checking in on your friends, your peers, look out for the signs in yourself as well as others. Um, and I put like a lot of extra outside of work research into this because I was very passionate about this and I really wanted
Hmm.
this to land. Especially with teenagers, they're very skeptical of a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
Of course.
I want to make sure that the message would really resonate. So I forget if I told you this, Hannah, but I actually hit up Marina, our cousin Marina's kids, who were in high school at the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
you took them out and you talked to them. I remember that. You did tell
Yeah,
me
so I like
that.
interviewed them with
nice.
some of my ideas, and I was
Yeah.
like, what do you think about this? Like, how would you
So
feel
you had a
about
little
this?
study group. Yeah.
Exactly, my own little,
Use the resources you
Yeah.
got, right?
Wow.
yeah,
This
and I
is
wasn't getting
great.
paid for any of that time.
Yeah.
Um, and I ended up making like a couple different ideas. One was like a very like, those comics that look very simple. They've got like almost messy looking.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
we
Stick
I told
figures.
them to
Uh-huh.
intentionally make it like messy looking.
Yeah.
I told my designers to like make it look like that, not too polished.
Yeah.
And then I did like a screen recording of someone typing and backspacing on like an iPhone text app
Mm-hmm.
or iMessage. Um, because I knew if we did Android that people would make fun of it. So but
Product
Julia,
it was very
placement.
authentic.
Julia's an Android user.
Exactly. So I got one of my coworkers to do it for me.
Yeah.
I wrote the little script and then we just like did a screen recording of it and it was very authentic. It looked just like a real like text message.
Yeah.
So that was the ad and it was very, very well received. And there are a lot of
Nice.
people like that just really liked it, got like a crazy amount of shares and stuff too in New Jersey. So I was very, very
Congrats.
proud of that one.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for
like
sharing.
when you see kind of your all of that work that you put into and you see kind of the fruits of your labor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And especially for this kind of a product, if I may
Yeah.
say, like it's wow,
Like you
great.
probably that ad not only was it successful for
The
the
campaign.
organization, but
Mm-hmm.
you probably actually helped a lot of
Yeah.
people.
I think that's why I feel proud of it because I
Oh,
feel like in
Yeah.
this is
marketing, you
such
don't
a
usually
great
get to do that.
story.
That's so sweet. I
It
love
is
that.
very sweet.
Yeah.
But speaking of success,
Hmm.
so what does a successful ad actually mean? Is it about more likes, more clicks, more shares, or what is it
Like
about?
actual purchase of product
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah. So it's so funny because this is exactly what the CEOs are always asking as well for their marketing teams, but um,
We are the
it is
CEOs of our podcast.
very true. Yes, exactly. So I'll have to convince you or educate you in the same way I usually, talk to these other clients as well. Um, so it depends what stage of your business you're at. It depends on um, your kind of service or product. It depends if you have a separate sales team as well. Um, Usually, number one ask is where's the sales? Where's the sales? How many sales came directly from this?
Hmm.
How much money did you make from this ad? But of course, that's not always the case. From traditional ads on TV and any kind of video ad, you're usually not making a purchase directly from like like your TV ads and things like that, for
Hmm.
example, or for a billboard. So there's a lot of awareness also that is important. What I try to do with clients is I set a very early expectation of what the goal is for this campaign. And if we have maybe a couple different campaigns with the same client, one for awareness maybe, and then one for actual sales. So I'm only gonna, tell them about the sales goal of that sales campaign. And the other one, I'm going to tell them how many people saw it, how many people went to the website afterwards. So they have different goals based off of, the different stages of the funnel is what it's called, where the
Mm.
Yeah.
widest part of the funnel is the first time that you're reaching the audience, and then you're trying to bring, as the funnel gets narrower, you're trying to like narrow it down to the ideal customer that is eventually going to make a purchase off of you.
Hmm.
So yeah, it depends on what kind of campaign and what stage of the business they're in.
And what the goal is, I guess,
Yeah.
right? From the
Yeah,
beginning. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. I don't know if this is like, I don't know if this is even possible in terms of like the work that you actually do, but when it comes to campaigns, like you were talking about one that you're especially proud of, is there anything that you as a person working in this area, are there any that kind of like you're allowed to refuse to do just because maybe morally you're against it or something like that? I don't know if this is
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
too
yeah.
sensitive, I don't know if this is too sensitive of a
No,
question
no,
or
no,
if
this is
this is
fine.
allowed.
Yes, so I would say there was one that seemed straight up illegal, and I remember my CEO at my agency was like telling me about this potential business that she was going to bring in, and I was like, this sounds really sketchy. And luckily, okay, one good thing about marketing is that if it is morally wrong, a lot of the times it also won't be successful.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the priorities are usually in line there of like, if this is wrong, it probably won't do well anyway. It probably won't make you any money or long term anyway with
Yeah.
a big marketing budget. So in this case, it was some weird steroid or something that
Oh.
they wanted us to help them with. And I was like, I don't think this is legal. And also it'll just get us banned on the platform and they're just gonna lose money. So best for everyone
Best
if we
kiss
don't
canary.
Hmm.
do
Yeah.
it. Um, there was actually, and this is at my current workplace, so hopefully this doesn't get too popular, but the there was a certain industry that I was asked to take on, or that was a potential for me to take on. They didn't ask me explicitly, but there were a guy got fired, and so I knew that I was gonna have to help step in to take
Hmm.
on like some of his clients. And I was looking at his industries. He had retail, he had like government, fast food restaurants, he had like um real money gambling. And real money gambling was the one where I didn't feel super
Hmm.
comfortable with. There's been a lot of this one's a bit controversial. It's making a lot of money for a lot of people
These
right
days.
now.
Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy. Like
yeah.
so many of those online
Casinos.
casino
Hmm.
types of ads. That is something that I had in the back of my mind. I remember you had mentioned at some whenever we were meeting up together that what you had mentioned it, the online casinos and things that were just kind of not
hmm
something that you're comfortable with. And I have seen them popping up everywhere. And I'm just like, is this allowed? Is this okay?
They recently, I think, made a lot of, I'm sure a lot of rich people convinced a lot of other rich people to make those laws more flexible. So I think it's a very
Mm.
recent
That's
thing in
why.
Canada
Hmm.
and in
That's
the
why.
US, I think.
Yeah.
It
So
really
it's,
is. I
yeah,
would say
all of a
like
sudden.
50% of my ads are these casino things. And
Yeah.
it just every time I see one, I think of you and I'm just like, oof,
Why? Yeah, it shouldn't
yeah.
Yeah,
happen.
it's not
I
my
haven't seen
favorite.
I haven't seen them a lot on social media, but Netflix like promoting them
Yes.
like crazy.
I see them
Yeah.
a lot on social
Hmm.
media, actually. They're everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, great question.
I
Yeah.
could see where that gets a little bit like those types of things. I can see where sometimes it can get a little bit on the ethical side, you're just kind of like, is this something that I want to partake in or is this something that I want to participate in, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes that can be a little bit of a challenge, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. I did tell my manager, like, look, if I have to do it, like I will step in and help out the team. Of course, like that's what you're paying me to do.
Yeah.
Um, and these ads are gonna go out regardless, whether or not I'm a part of it. But I did tell her, but you know what, like part of my job is also making these ads do better, and I don't know if my heart will fully be in it if I
Hmm.
really like I'm actually like against this
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
You want to be
Uh,
passionate about like what you
Exactly.
said about the organization, the mental health organization in
Hmm.
New Jersey, right? Like
yeah,
that's
exactly.
It's
something you're
helping
passionate about.
people. Yeah.
Exactly. If you're passionate
Exactly.
about
So I'm just
mental.
not going to put as much ener of my spare time and energy into making
Yeah,
something work that I don't feel strongly about.
exactly.
So I told her that, and again, there's a case where the morals and success, performance are aligned. So,
Yeah.
she didn't have a problem with giving me something else. Um, and someone else that was okay with it took on the gambling
Hmm.
side. So that worked out fine. But yeah, I think that's where I personally draw a line. I think a lot of people draw different lines and things, and
Yeah.
Hmm.
that's totally fine for them as well.
Yeah,
But
because the ads are still there, so there are still
exactly.
people who are willing to do them,
Of
right?
course,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
Um, But yeah, but just personally, I don't like them because they're so focused on just uh it's not even a game. It's like it's just them making all this money and selling
Hmm.
this
A big
dream to
sense of
you
it. Yeah.
that you
And they're
don't really
all
get much
AI
from.
these days.
Yes, that too. It's like
They're
you're a
all
mil
AI.
multi-million dollar industry. Why can't you afford better ads?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
It's really interesting. So interesting.
Yeah.
So like we were talking about these online casinos and the ads for them, that there might must have some changes happened in the laws and stuff. So I wanted to ask you about how have people's social media habits changed in the recent years? So we can see some
Mm.
changes in what is allowed or not allowed to be advertised. But when it comes to the users, how do you think
Ooh,
those habits have changed?
habits. That's interesting. I'd say a big one is obviously the rise of TikTok and short form video.
Yeah.
Um, that was always like a little bit around in the last 10 years, but it really like boomed, or it's really gotten like much bigger the last few years, especially on TikTok, but also YouTube and Instagram. So I'd say short form video, vertical video has become a lot more normal. I'd say 10 years ago,
Most.
yeah, exactly. 10 years ago, like it was still, even though
Oh.
people were recording on their vertical video,
Mhm.
you'd still see a lot of comments in the comment section saying, flip your phone around to landscape. Like,
Yeah.
why is this in vertical? But now vertical is the norm. And now
Uh-huh.
landscape is stranger to see.
Do
I would,
people
or
actually make those
rarer.
comments?
Back in the day, yeah, people would
Really?
yeah, before TikTok and things, people would say like, oh, like flip it to horizontal.
Uh-huh.
Um, because it would be showing on platforms that were not meant for vertical
I
video as well.
Uh-huh.
see. I
So that's
see.
why it would like annoy people.
Interesting. That's so interesting. Yeah, definitely the short form because I guess also like attention spans
Attention
are
span.
so much
Yeah.
shorter
The
these
magic
days.
3 seconds, blah, 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 to
Yeah,
capture
Yeah,
people's attention.
exactly.
exactly.
Well, okay. Are there um like what are some okay, so if, say somebody is curious about dabbling in this area, kind of like we are. I guess we have
Mhm.
interest as well and for other people out there who are interested in um look like doing something in social media. Like honestly, it doesn't even have to be a job. Like a lot of the time, there's so many people that are just trying to like start a TikTok or,
Mhm.
become a quote unquote influencer or whatever the case is. And social media marketing is a part of that. Like what are some of the kind of important skills for someone who wants to kind of get started or go into it?
I would say important skills are probably that it's a big organizational lift, meaning you have to be a relatively organized person and you have to understand that yes, you have time this week, but you're gonna have to have time the next, 100 or so weeks in the future
Hmm.
too, unless you're organized and unless you like plan for all of that, because
Yeah.
quantity is a big important thing in social media in particular. Um, putting out regular content and like keeping up that posting schedule is very important no matter what
Hmm.
platform you're on.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is a numbers game, at the end of the day. So it is a lot of like you have to be realistic with how much time you can spend on it,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to actually dedicate that time into it. So I'd say like time is a big one.
I'm
I'd say looking back on your posts to improve them as well, like looking at, this one had this many likes, this one had that many likes. I think
Mm-hmm.
that part is pretty natural for a lot of people
yeah.
to do.
Data analysis.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of analysis, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
As well as, just when you're, scrolling through TikTok or Instagram casually, like outside of your work, look at what every single post that is on your feed that is not from your friends, that is on your feed because that is a success. That post happens to be
Mm-hmm.
a top 0.1% post that is going to a stranger's feed. And that's what you want
Mm,
to be. So every single thing that you are scrolling through is a success story. So just having that mindset of learning from every single post, as well as like what is not working
Mm-hmm.
for you, but the fact that it's on your feed at all is means that it was a success. So, taking a look at every single one of those and thinking, why is this on my feed? Why is this so popular? Like, what did they do that is different from what I'm doing? Just like treating every single post as a learning moment.
Mm-hmm.
ooh,
Amazing.
I like that.
I love it. Yeah. And actually, that answers our question about advice. We wanted to ask for
It's
advice
really great advice,
for,
really.
yeah, but being
You're
organized,
you're
time,
right about
data
quantity.
analysis. Mm-hmm.
You're right about quantity, like especially I think because everything is short form now. So it's like
hmm
you're putting out, let's say like 15-second, 30-second videos, but you're putting them out like you're putting like 10 videos out a day, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's kind of more common these days than like one 1 minute video per day,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that takes a lot of time, even though it's just like a short 15 seconds or so.
Oh,
You got to
yeah.
do it multiple times. You have to have an idea sometimes,
The
the
editing,
editing, the
Mm-hmm.
caption. It's a lot of
yeah,
work.
it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Oof. Ooh. Yeah.
Okay.
A
Well,
whole new world.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Julia, we're gonna be doing something at the end of our interview that we usually do called a
Okay.
quick fire round.
Ooh.
And basically the quick fire round is we're gonna ask you kind of three questions one by one, and you're just gonna give us the first answer that you can think of just off the top of your head.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, first question. Dun, dun, dun. Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram. Can I explain why?
Sure, sure,
Yes,
sure.
please do.
Um, only because if you were to give me one platform, I would like the one where I actually I have all my friends on, because not all my friends and family are on TikTok at the moment. Um,
Um,
and Instagram has, even though TikTok does the short form video scrolling better and its algorithm is better in terms of like keeping you trapped, Instagram just has like my friends on it. And then also it's, I can look at pictures, I can look at the stories, I can look at the short form
mhm.
video.
It's more
Um,
personalized too,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
And more variety.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. That's just where my social network is more. And
Nice.
also ads right now, it might change in the future very soon, but right now ads are still better on Instagram than TikTok in terms of converting for
Okay.
sales,
Perfect. Thank you.
in
Okay.
my experience.
Question number two. Funny ads or emotional ads?
Funny ads.
Okay.
I would
Is this a
say, yeah,
personal preference or are we talking from the perspective of being successful?
I think it's personal preference, but also in my experience, it's way easier to be funny than to hit the heartstrings. I think
Ah.
it's really hard to make something that doesn't come across as cheesy as a brand,
Mhm.
that is actually emotional. And
Yeah.
it can, if something is supposed to be funny and it falls flat, then I feel like people are a lot more forgiving of it. They're just like, oh, that's just lame. But if you're trying to be like authentic and emotional and it
Mhm.
falls flat, it's just kind of like, ooh, it's
Cringe.
hard to
Cringy.
look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes time to like to develop an emotion, whereas something
Yeah,
funny can be done in like 2 seconds,
Mhm.
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with
Cool.
that. Okay, last quick fire question. Would you personally, as a person, Julia, as a person, would you ever click on your own ads?
That's a good question. I've done a lot of ads, and I feel like
Yeah.
some of them are for products that I would not have been interested in until I feel like working as a marketer for that brand made like convince I was gaslighting myself. I like convinced myself
That
that
you wanted
that
it.
it is a good product
Yeah.
or a service or something. Um I feel like yes, but it's hard to say. Obviously, I do have my personal taste that I put into these ads, so I think
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
because I think all of them have like a little all the ones that I have a hand in creating anyway have like a little bit of me in it.
Yeah.
So I think I would, and that is
It's
always
hard
the
to
lens I try
say.
to look at when I'm like creating or like helping to make a concept for an ad. I am always trying to think like, okay, would I actually click on that?
Yeah.
I guess it's hard to say because you're so like in the weeds of it, right? So you
Yeah,
don't
you're
know
Yeah,
so
from an outsider
involved and
perspective.
invested. Yeah.
exactly.
This is amazing, Julia. Thank you so much. That was a very informative interview, and I guess that we've learned a lot or got
Yeah.
a lot of insights, and I hope that our listeners and viewers did too.
Awesome. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me. That was
it was
fun.
so much fun. Thanks so much for
Yeah.
your time, Jules. All right. So I guess we'll finish it off here and then we can stay tuned for the language lab that's coming up next.
Yeesh, but we'll see you guys in a second.
Bye.
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 Stay tuned. We have the language lab coming up next.
Welcome back, Poducators, and welcome back once again to Language Lab, where we take real conversations and zoom in on the words doing the heavy lifting.
That's right. And this week we interviewed my sister, Julia, and she lives in the land of algorithms, analytics, and people asking, can this go viral by
Uh-huh.
tomorrow?
Uh-huh. We did that too, actually.
Hmm.
And as always, we are dissecting the language of social media marketing and advertising. No sponsored posts yet, just sponsored vocabulary.
That's right. And first up, we have this wasn't even, we didn't even get into our talk about social media yet. This was resemblance. And resemblance is a similarity between things. You can have like one brand resembling another. In the episode, we were talking about whether or not Julia, my sister, resembles me or who we resemble in our
Mm-hmm.
family, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Full-fledged. I love this word. Full-fledged means completely developed or established. Like a full-fledged marketing campaign has strategy, budget, and of course, stress.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Dabbling. When you are dabbling, you are trying something casually, like a hobby or something like that, without any sort of deep commitment. So if you are, dabbling in social media marketing, it's just kind of like oh, like let me give this a try.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if this works.
Mm-hmm. The next word is the word revamp. And revamp means to change or improve something significantly. Like when the brand revamps, it's usually because the vibes were off.
That's right.
And remember, we were talking about the word revamp? This word reminds me of vampires.
That's right.
And we were thinking that if you revamp, it's like, rebirth. And yeah. I mean, just a thought. We do not know if that's for sure.
It's an easy way.
The thought.
A lot of the time, when you're trying to remember vocabulary words, it's good to make connections,
Yeah,
even if
connections and associations.
association. Exactly. It's a good word
Yeah.
association. Vampire. Refine. Refine, again, you can make a word association to be fine, and it means to make something fine, right? To
Yep.
improve something by making little, small, thoughtful adjustments.
Hmm. The next word is the word optimize. And to optimize means to make something as effective as possible. You can optimize your settings on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, and on like so many other gadgets or things that you use. And in marketing, this often means pleasing both humans and mysterious robots.
That's right.
Hmm.
A one-off request is basically just a single kind of non-related task that isn't usually part of the main original plan, right?
Hmm.
So it's just like a very quick request that somebody says, "Oh, this will just take 5 minutes. Can you do this one thing for me?" It's called a one-off
Hmm.
request.
Authentic. Authentic means genuine and real, not forced or fake. In our episode, Julia was talking about it that Nowadays, authentic videos, they become viral faster because audiences can smell inauthenticity faster than a bad apology video.
Oof, have you seen some of those
Yes.
apology videos?
Yes.
The inauthentic ones, the ones that are not authentic, you
Mhm.
can really
Yeah.
tell, and it makes the situation worse, to be
Hmm.
honest. Weary. And weary, this word is it basically means when you feel tired, usually emotionally tired. It can be physically, and you can say, social media managers, it's a job that can sometimes make you weary, but you got to still keep up that energy, right?
Hmm. The next word is the word pitfall, and pitfall is a hidden problem or risk. It's like the pits on the road that, like, when you're driving, you cannot see them until the very last time. So it is a hidden problem or risk. It's like trends that look fun until the comment section wakes up.
Ooh, yeah,
Hmm.
that can be a pitfall. Irrefutably. I like this word. Irrefutably. I like saying the word. Irrefutably is basically something that cannot be denied. Like you cannot debate it, you cannot go against it. Irrefutably, for example, the algorithm changes right after you finally understand
Hmm.
it.
The next word is the word to imply. And to imply means to suggest something without saying it directly. Like in our episode, Julia was giving a brilliant example of how some medications that are being advertised on social media or on TV, they cannot explicitly say who needs this medication. So that is why we were talking about implying that the ad cannot imply, suggest who this medication is for.
Yes. Show off. A show off is when you like kind of display something really proudly, sometimes excessively. Like a person, you can describe a person as a show off. And if a person is a show off, they're kind of like, oh, like, look how great I am. Look how amazing my life is. Like, look at
Mm-hmm.
this amazing thing that I just did, right? It's a very confident. I mean, confidence is great.
It is.
Love confidence, but overdoing it and showing off a little too much can be a little bit not great.
Helpline. And Helpline is an amazing service that offers help or support for any kinds of life situations that people might find themselves in. And sometimes it is literal, like you're calling the line to get some help, but sometimes it's just your group chat with your friends.
Ooh,
Amazing
the best
helpline. I love
helpline.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, guys, you know what happened? And then, like, you will get the best support.
that's right. That's right. We do have some really great helplines as services here
Mm-hmm.
in Canada. Like we have telehealth, which is for any health related questions that you
Mm-hmm.
have. You've got like ones for like suicide
For
prevention,
anything. Yeah.
honestly everything. Yes.
Addictions,
They're really great
abusive
resources.
relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Skeptical. When somebody is skeptical, they are doubtful or kind of questioning, like, I don't know about this. It's kind of like it's a healthy feeling to have, I think. It is good in our day and age to be
Mm-hmm.
a little skeptical. For example, being skeptical with what you see on social media
Mm-hmm.
or what you see in the news. It's a good idea to question it, to see, like, is this really the truth? Is this really fact?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wakes up your critical thinking,
that's right.
I'd say, being skeptical.
Yeah.
The word resonate. Resonate means to emotionally connect with people. And why I like this word so much, because it reminds me so much about the word vibing. Because, like, when you're resonating, you're basically like going in the same
Yeah,
vibe or a wave with someone. So if content resonates, it sticks. If not, it scrolls away
that's
quietly,
right.
or sometimes not quietly.
To hit up someone. You're not actually literally hitting anyone. All right. This is an expression that we use.
Don't do that, kids.
Yes, don't actually hit people. When we hit someone up or hit up someone, it's like you're just contacting someone casually, right? Like, oh, hey, see you later. I'll hit you up tomorrow.
Hmm.
Something like that. It's just a casual way of saying I'll contact you.
Hmm. Intentionally. We were talking in one of our episodes about the word unintentionally. So this is the antonym of it.
Yes.
And if something is intentional or done intentionally, it means that it's being done on purpose, not by accident. Like posting intentionally is harder than it sounds.
That's right. It's
Mm.
difficult. Funnel. It's not a social media related word, although it is kind of, I guess, used on the back end when you're talking about analytics and things like that, which is why it was mentioned in the episode. A funnel, okay, let me explain the physical thing that is a funnel. All
Mhm.
right. So a funnel is a kitchen utensil and it's like a triangle cone cup and it has a small spout in the bottom. And it is used if you need to pour something like liquids or grains or whatever from a large container into a smaller container. So
Mhm.
it helps so that, you don't spill everything everywhere. So it's like a large group of things that kind of go slowly into one smaller thing.
Mhm.
And we use this a lot to talk about some sort of the way that things are done in a lot of things, right? So it's a system that kind of guides a bunch of actions into like one
Mhm.
specific type of action. So you can say that funnels,
Mhm.
right?
The word gambling, oof, a risky one. So to gamble means to take a risk with an uncertain outcome. It's like posting without strategy is kind of a digital gambling. But also the word gambling is used when we talk about casino.
Yeah.
When people go to a casino, what they do, they gamble. So they put some money and try to not try, hope, I guess, to win more money back. So it's also a gambling. You do not
Yes.
know like whether you're going to win or you're going to lose your money.
It's a risk. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Partake. Partake, easy word association. It means to take part in something or you're participating in something. So, for example, a lot of brands, they love to partake in trends
Mm-hmm.
in social media these days.
Mm-hmm. The expression hit or pull heartstrings. It means to strongly affect emotions, and often it's used in ads with slow music and meaningful glances and baby animals.
Lots of baby animals
Baby animals,
and
it's
babies.
like, okay, pull all of my strings. Like, honestly, like, just show me baby animals.
Yeah. Cheesy, not actual cheese, but when we describe something as cheesy, it's something when something's a little like a little overly emotional or overly cliche or someone trying to be funny. It's kind of makes you cringe
Mm-hmm.
or smile at the same time. Like this feeling is what we say is cheesy.
Mm-hmm. And if something is cheesy, it can fall flat, and usually it does fall flat. And to fall flat means to fail to impress or get the desired reaction. It's like when the engagement is zero, silence is loud, the crickets are in the background.
Ooh, it's a scary feeling.
Flat.
It's a scary
Mm-hmm.
feeling. Gaslight. When we gaslight somebody, it's you kind of manipulate them or you convince them into doubting uh, what their actual reality is. It is a kind of a word that's used a lot these
Mm-hmm.
days, but it is serious, right? It can be quite serious because you're
I don't
basically
think it's serious.
really
Yeah. I mean, like, why did you even
okay. I see what you're doing. You're trying to gaslight me right now. I actually was like, really? Is it not? Okay,
Don't
perfect,
do it, kids.
perfect example of gaslighting. Yeah, it is serious. It's a serious
It is
term.
a very serious one.
You're
Yes.
manipulating someone. You're kind of you're being sneaky to change someone's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there you have it. Social media language, fully optimized, authentically refined, and intentionally dissected.
And if this episode resonated with you, amazing. If it fell flat, then let's just say it was a one-off.
Mm-hmm. And as always, keep listening, keep learning, and educate
Educate
yourself.
yourself.